Hi guys, it's Crystal with Design Bundles. Today I'm going to show you guys how to use heat transfer paper. If you don't know what heat transfer paper is, it's this special paper that you can print with your inkjet printers and then apply it to your t-shirts. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go over the supplies that I used in today's video. Number one, you're going to need some transfer paper. This is heat transfer paper. It has one side feels a little bit like texture. This is basically printable vinyl, and then the other side will either be a solid, it'll have some sort of print on it, or grid lines like so. Now what's really awesome about this is you can use your inkjet printers with this. It's very similar to Caesar EasyWeed, except for we can use our inkjet printers. And today I'm just using the cheapest of cheap HP printers, and it's just inkjet ink. You don't want to use laser ink, you definitely want to use inkjet. Now another thing you're going to need is a lint roller and then your t-shirt. I'm using 100% cotton here. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that lint. So let's go over the image I'm using today. This is a 1 credit here over on Design Bundles. I've already downloaded it and brought it over to my computer. So all you need to do is go to your normal print settings. You do not have to mirror with this stuff. So keep that in mind. You do not need to mirror. So we're just going to go through our settings here, and I'm just going to go with an 8.5 by 11. You could, scale this up or down, so you can change the size there. I'm going to go ahead and hit print, and then we're going to go ahead and let the printer here print it up for us. So it's super exciting because once again, you can use your inkjet printers for this stuff. You can find this locally in your hobby stores, Walmart, Target, Amazon. I'll have a link down below. Lots of different places, like I said, and you can use your Cricuts, you can use your silhouettes to cut around these designs, so you could upload this image over into those programs and then have that cut it out. But today I'm going to show you guys, you don't need a die cutting machine for this. You can simply fussy cut all the way around your design. So that's also what's exciting here. You just need your printer and your transfer paper and you're good to go. Next step is you need to let this dry. I highly recommend hovering this underneath your heat press. Do not let your heat press come in contact. You just want to let it hover over for about 1 to 2 minutes. It's going to dry that ink so you don't get any smudging. You could also hover your Cricut Easy Press. You can use that as well. I'll do another video very soon with this once again. So you can hover that. You could let it air dry, for a little while as well. So you definitely want to dry those inks. Don't leave it under the heat press too long. Like I said, 1 to 2 minutes. All right, so next up, we're just going to fussy cut around this. You could just, simply go right on the line. I like to leave a little bit of a white border, especially since my t-shirt is white. You're not really going to see that or notice it anyway. So I don't have to worry about cutting into the design because that you would notice. Now, I'm going to go ahead, like I said, just fussy cut all the way around. But once again, you could definitely upload this into your Cricut, your silhouette, and have it cut it out for you. Now, what if you had a bunch of intricate pieces? You could save some of your transfer paper or purchase some transfer paper separately. That is for HTV, heat transfer paper. So say, for example, I'm using some Caesar EasyWeed. And when I peel that carrier sheet off, I could set it aside and save it for projects like this, because then what I can do is lay it on top, so that way I can easily transfer it to my shirt if it was a bunch of pieces. But with something like this, it's such a big piece that you don't need anything to carry it over to your t-shirt. I also want to point out with my design, you may notice some lines in my bust here on the back, and that's because I need to, clean out my lines on my printer. So other than that, everything else looks great. So if you guys get that, you definitely need to go through and clean your lines in your computer. All right, so there you have it. So the very next step is, do not try to press this. If you do, you're going to stick it to its back. It now has a backing. This is what is going to help, it go through the printer and things like that. So you want to remove the backing just like so. So you're always going to have a backing to this stuff. And as you guys can see, it's vinyl. It's very similar to Caesar EasyWeed, like I said. All the differences is that you can use an inkjet printer instead of the sublimation ink. So that's really nice because you don't have to go out and invest into a sublimation printer for this. Once again, you don't have to have a die cutting machine. Great and easy projects for you to do with the kiddos and things like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pre-press my t-shirt. So the very next thing you need to do is pre-press that shirt. You want to pull out moisture, you want to remove the lint, and you want to pull out any sort of moisture. So I'm just going to go ahead and load this right up here, and then I'll just pre-press this for just a few seconds. Now, another thing that I decided to use with this, since this is a smaller t-shirt, you don't have to do this, only if it was something smaller like I have here. This is a youth. I want to avoid those seams, so I'm going to go ahead and use a pressing pillow. So I'm going to go ahead and grab out my pressing pillow, and then I'm just going to apply it underneath. So just make sure you pre-press around 5 seconds. And then, like I said, if you're doing a youth t-shirt, you definitely want to use a pressing pillow as I'm doing here. Now, once again, this is not something that's necessary with this product. I'm just trying to show you guys some tips and tricks along the way. All right, so we are ready to go. So I'm just going to kind of line this up until I'm happy with it. And now we're ready to line up our design. While it's on the press, but you could definitely do this over at the table, I'm going to go ahead and line this up. This does not have a sticky backing, so you want to be, very careful with this. You don't want to use heat transfer tape on top or anything like that. You just want to lay it down just like so. Make sure that you have removed your backing and line it up where you want it. The very next thing you need to do is cover it with a piece of parchment paper, craft paper, a Teflon sheet or something like that so it doesn't mess up your platen. You definitely don't want those inks to get on your platen. So we're going to go ahead and take this piece of parchment sheet right here and go right over the top, and then we're going to go ahead and press it just like so. Now I did 375 for around 12 seconds, I believe, 12 to 15 seconds. It really does not take no time at all. You're almost kind of getting up there to those sublimation levels with that 375. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this right up just like so, and there you have it. It's super nice, and it has the texture of HTV. So it has that same texture. It's basically like a printable. If you were to buy a pattern HTV, it's the exact same thing. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are going to try this out. Let me know down below if you are, and I will see you guys on the next one.